there's a huge difference between saying things like I have to versus saying things like I get to or I want to. And that same difference is apparent in people feeling rich versus poor. Now, a lot of people will connect that with monetary value or how much money they have. But think about a kid with $20. Now, he can either walk into a snack shop and feel like the richest kid in the world because he can buy any snack he wants, or he can walk into a shoe store and realize that he can't buy anything. And that same kid will feel extremely poor because he can't afford a pair of shoes that he wants. Now, expanding that mental model into looking at everything, and you realize that the way you speak about yourself, to yourself, about the things that you have, the things that you want, define the perspective that you see life in. And it's very hard, but very simple just to shift your perspective on life. Now, it's easy for me to say as someone who's living in my parents' house and doesn't have responsibilities. However, I spent the past 2 years all in on business and been through a lot of failures, and I've learned a lot. And the thing that has got me through the most is this mindset of it's not a failure. Even if you lose something, just don't lose the lesson in it. That's something I've had to remind myself over and over. And by shifting your perspective on this isn't a loss, it may be a loss of right now, but understanding that all failure is psychological until you die, that frame will allow you to keep pushing forward and keep doing things and keep attaining and reaching out to your goals. Now, I'm gonna expand that a little bit into understanding how you talk to yourself about who you are. Because the number one thing that identifies you, literally by the word, is identity. Whatever you think you acknowledge your identity as, or whatever people label you in your identity and things that you believe, will restrict or restrain you from doing what you think that type of identity or that type of person can do. And it's a simple wording of it. Thinking of yourself as, I'm a student, so I can't, I'm a B student, whatever, so I can't get an A. Or I'm a employee, so I can't do the work to become my own boss, to become my own manager, to rise in the ranks. Or I'm an entrepreneur, so I can't code software. That's not true. I can code software because I'm an entrepreneur. I can become the boss of whatever job I have because I've worked there for so long and because I understand it, the ins and outs, probably better than my boss does. So reframing and understanding who you are as a person and labeling yourself and your identity and not letting it be restrictive to who you are right now, but understanding it can change and adapt to who you want to become, and using words in ways that will help you get there instead of that will prevent you from getting there and make you feel claustrophobic in a space of restriction. Now, that was a lot, but just step back and loop back to the first point of the difference between I have to and I get to. There's a huge emotional change between those words and between the things that you feel by thinking that, by saying that. So I've been coding 12 hours a day for the past month now. And if every day I got up and said, oh, I have to code for 12 hours today, I wouldn't have made it this far. What I have to say instead, or I get to say, see that change right there, is I get to code for 12 hours today because I get to push property deals out. And once it's launched and once people are using it, I'll feel that much more fulfilled. And with that small change of perspective, it makes it all worth it. And it allows you to push faster and push further. And try not to go over time too much, but this will be another topic for another day. But it also brings in that force of pull versus push, because a lot of people will have the motivation, they'll get the willpower to push their way through. But try it this way. Find something that pulls you there, because a force pulling you is going to keep you going on the hardest days, while that motivation is going to die out and you're not going to have enough strength to push through. Very little people do, and that's why very few people are successful. So either become the 0.001% of people who can push their way all the way through, or hold on to that push, but also find a purpose that will pull you, a fire that will be lit under you, so that on the hardest days, you can come back to it and you realize, this is why I'm still going. This is why I'm still here, and this is why I have to keep going. I get to keep going. That's all I have for you guys today. See you guys next time. Peace.